your hair. Are you gonna do something to it?
I'm like, what you mean? My hair is dead. It's done. Finito. Like, I'm supposed to now be jumping in excitement to be a 70-year-old man's chocolate bunny. Okay.
I may be young, but I'm ready to give you all my love.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Amare. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. Definitely hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for a lot of other great content. Well, today I'm coming at you guys with a video where I'm going to be talking about the truth of being a Black Hooter girl. I feel like our experience, like so many other different industries and so many other different professions, well, okay, whatever. Waitressing is a profession for some people, right? Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? In so many different jobs and stuff, the experience of like you being a Black woman can greatly differ from other people. And I think it's particularly unique in how it differs from other non-Black people in an environment like Hooters. I get times are tough and like people are really looking for means to be able to just provide for themselves and stuff. And if this is a career, if this is a job that you're considering, especially as a Black woman, I want you to come in with some kind of knowledge about what you might be able to expect and what might happen to you. This is just my personal experience. Every Hooter girl's experience is going to be different. So just to give you guys some background, I first started working at Hooters while I was an undergrad at the University of Texas at Austin. I worked at their location over there for like 2 weeks and then I quit because I was just like, I can't do this. And then I graduated and came back home and realized, look, I'm not trying to use my degree yet. I have the rest of my life to work in a corporate setting and be all professional. And then also I want to do something different. And I want to make some easy money so I can travel the world and just do me. So I was like, you know what? Instead of learning a different job, let's just go back to Hooters. How bad can that be? Okay, so that's how I ended up coming back. And I worked at the Houston location for about 6 months, I think I lasted that long until I quit. So this is just my experience and my background. So let's get into it. Now, my biggest gripe with Hooters is the hair policy. Granted, I know that they recently updated it about time to allow women to wear braids, but it's ridiculous that it took until 2020 for such changes to be made. And the fact that it took that long for them to make such changes is really indicative about this corporation and its values and what it stands for and who it's really checking for. So with that said, I had a personal experience with this, with being discriminated against because of my hair. So I'm a natural 4C girl at the time before I went bald, but I was a natural 4C girl. I came in one day with like a really pretty unit. It was like a crochet thing, and then I had my natural hair out in the front to like blend it in and stuff. And I will leave images and videos and stuff. Tell me why. I was getting compliments from customers, and even if they weren't complimenting me, I knew I looked good. So tell me why my manager calls me into the office and they're like,
So, your hair. Are you gonna do something to it?
I'm like, what you mean? My hair is dead. It's done. Finito. They're like,
No, look at the policy. It says it's supposed to be styled and glamorous.
this was very glamorous. And y'all, my hair was looking nice. It was looking very nice. The issue wasn't how it was styled. The issue was with the texture and with it being 4C and with it being kinky. And that to me is extremely racist. That to me is extremely discriminatory because other races of women and other people can walk into this job. Trust me, some of my coworkers would come in like they just woke up out of bed and here they are. And here I am as your Hooter girl. And you as a Black woman know how much effort and time it takes to style our hair and to get it to look nice. Like that takes effort. Nobody just wakes up and is like, bam. So for them to have a problem with that really irked me. And not only did they have a problem with that, they had to go ahead and check in with like the regional guy and ask him for permission if my hair was acceptable and okay. And the crazy part about this, my managers at my Houston location were Black. The main manager there was Black. So you as a Black man have a problem with my Black hair. Okay. And then you not only had a problem with it, but you decided to go to your regional manager, your superior, who is white. You went to go to a white man to ask him if my hair was okay. Sis, if it wasn't for the fact that I was saving for my birthday trip to Asia, I would have checked out that very day. Okay? But I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and finish this out and finish this experience out. But that left a very sour taste in my mouth, and it was just extremely ridiculous. And I wasn't even the only person at my job as a black woman who had issues with hair. There were other girls. There was one girl I remember who had like looser, tighter curls, like 3C hair or something, but she would wear her hair in its curly state, and it was beautiful. And the managers would ask her,
Is your hair done? Are you gonna get it done?
no, this is my hair. This is how it's gonna look today. Like, why is there such an issue with just how black women look naturally? And don't let this blonde confuse you. I am happily and proudly black. I just love switching things up, and that's just who I am. But to have such a problem with black women's appearance and to police it so heavily is really indicative of the underlying anti-blackness present in that company, the management, whatever the case may be. But they need to get all of that sorted out. So when I quit Hooters, I literally quit maybe like a week or two before they implemented the new hair policy where they're allowing people to wear braids and stuff and wear their hair in an updo. Tell me why, when my manager was like talking to me about it, like just talking to us about it and the new hair policy, she goes, like, I made this comment, ooh, snap, I'm gonna go ahead and get my hair braided this weekend. And she's a white woman. She looked at me and she goes,
Oh, not too fast. I wouldn't be too quick about that. You have to make sure they're clean and orderly.
I'm like heating up just even thinking about it and thinking about the fact that she really said that to me. And I'm like getting flustered right now. To tell me that my braids have to be clean and orderly, like, why was it that the first thing in your mind was that, oh, she's gonna walk in here with ugly looking, dusty looking braids? When you have other girls walking in here like they just woke up from bed. I'm not trying to sit here and talk down on other women at my job, definitely not. But it's like the standard of what's considered styled and neat is so drastically different. God forbid you're a black woman and you have a little bit of hair coming out and peeping out of your braids. It's just like, oh, you're unkept, you're not doing what you need to do, you look horrible. And to associate braids with being messy and disorderly, like right off the bat, blows my mind. And we as black women know the kind of time we put into our braids, how intricate and how beautiful they are, especially when they're fresh. And even when you have braids that are like a month old, if you've taken care of them, they still look nice, they still look presentable. It really just angered my soul that she had the audacity to say that to me. And what hurt me more about it was that she said it in a way where it's like she wanted to dissuade me from even going to do that. So here's this policy being implemented, but you know, it's one thing to implement a new policy and it's another thing to enforce it and allow other people to take advantage of it. Hooters administration or whatever can make all the changes they want, but when at the regional level or at the local level, managers are creating such a hostile environment where girls don't feel comfortable coming to work with their braids or with their hair up or in their natural state, that's a problem. And that's not a problem that rules and stuff just easily change overnight. It's an attitude problem, it's a value problem in that organization. It's an issue with so many things in that corporation. Now, the next thing to watch out for is like body shaming and colorism issues there. And I'm speaking as like a brown skinned woman who's petite, and this might not be the norm for most black women. A lot of black women, or a good portion of us, are a lot more on the well-endowed side, a lot thicker, melanated, all that goodness. But it's really sad to see how that's not appreciated at all over there. Even when I think back to the girls that they hired, most of us were on the lighter side of like the color spectrum of black women. And then not only that, when you also look at our body shapes, we were all pretty thin, right? And so it kind of disadvantages women who don't fit neatly into that mold because they're naturally just well endowed and things of that nature. So I think that's pretty messed up, especially because it probably affects us as Black women a lot more than other people from other demographics. And then beyond that, I'm trying to say this without being rude or coming off as rude, but it felt like the standard of hiring a Black woman was like through the roof as opposed to people of other races. You'll see a very beautiful Black woman come in for an interview to be hired and stuff. Tell me why she's not hired. All women are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like the standard was just so different for Black women. And then not only that, just the way you speak too. I found that to be an issue at my location as well. It felt like in order to be hired as a Black woman at my location, you had to be palatable to whiteness. You had to be all prim and proper and, oh, hi, welcome to Hooters. My name is Michelle. How can I help you? Like things of that nature. It just felt like you couldn't just comfortably sit in your Blackness and be cool. And it's like, this is Hooters, okay? This is not a corporate environment. This is not Wall Street. This is not a law firm. This is a restaurant where people are just asking for some nasty crusty wings and an expired burger. What's the issue? And now my last point in regards to like management and stuff and the rules and regulations, I did not feel supported as a Black woman there by management. I felt like it was a lot easier for like the non-Black girls to be all buddy and kiki it up with like the management and stuff, and they seemed to prefer those girls a lot more than the Black girls, and I felt like that really disadvantaged us. So that really angered me because it's like there's like a preferential treatment given to other women over others, and it seemed like that preference was along racial lines. So probably one of the most blatant acts of like discrimination I saw was when corporate came in. So what that means is that we have like the higher up inspector people for the company that come in to see how the Hooters locations are like running things and if the girls are looking good and service is good and stuff like that. So our state manager, I think the state head guy, was coming in. Guess who was all on schedule to work that shift? Not a single Black girl. They said, this man is gonna get the top of the top, and the top of the top was no Black woman. That to me was just so sickening. And I wanted to say something, but I said, you know what, Michelle, the motto here is get your money and go. Get your money and go. But that was just so sick and so blatant in your face. Like, you guys aren't even up to the level of these girls, okay? Y'all are down here and they're up here, and these are the people that are truly meant to be the image and the face of this company. How sad is that? Now moving on to the customers. The customers, my favorite part and my worst part of working there. You would come in contact with some characters, okay? Whether you're Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever, you will come in contact with some interesting customers. But I will say that for Black women, sometimes the nature of the conversations I feel like are a bit different. For example, I remember in my Austin location, when I first started working, one of the girls was like introducing me and everything, and she was like,
Oh my gosh, this customer, he's a regular, he's gonna love you. He loves all the Black girls, and he calls them his chocolate bunnies.
Bro, when I said, look, my mama and my papa did not send me to school to be somebody's chocolate bunny. Oh my goodness, bro. I was really like flabbergasted that was actually okay. And like, she was just like,
Oh my gosh, he's gonna love you.
Like, I'm supposed to now be jumping in excitement to be a 70-year-old man's chocolate bunny. Okay. And then not only that, I felt like some customers were a lot more comfortable with overly sexualizing you as a Black woman working there too. I remember I had this other table, bro, I swear, like, as it gets and I always used to work night shifts, so as it came closer to 11 and 12, baby, all the creeps came out full force. And I felt some of the ways that people would talk to me there, it just, and this isn't to paint a picture that a lot of the customers who come to Hooters are very sick in the head, and actually I don't think that I was over sexualized more so at Hooters than I am in any other space in my life, even in like more professional environments. I felt like it was pretty much on par. So that wasn't necessarily the issue. But for the people who were weird and creeps and stuff, I just couldn't really picture them speaking to my non-Black coworkers in that same way. It just felt like it had a racial tone to it. And now the point that really irked me about customers are customers who clearly have a preference for a non-black Hooter girl. And it's just so wild to me that we're experiencing this in 2020. But literally, I have had experiences where customers would be very rude and abrasive to me. And it would seem like, oh, you don't, like, I would figure and put two and two together that they preferred my blonde hair, blue eyes coworker as opposed to having me be their server. Like, oh no, I did not pay money to come to Hooters to be served by this girl. And it's just so clear and it's so apparent, so evident. Now, my last point is in regards to coworkers. There were some of my non-black coworkers that were a little bit too comfortable using the N-word. Like, you'll just be talking to them casually and stuff, and they'll be talking about their boyfriend is black, and they'll be like, I can't believe this nigga did it. I'm like, wait. What? Like, what makes you so comfortable to use this word like that? Sis, we're in 2020. What is making you feel so emboldened to feel like you can just do that? And it wasn't only coworkers who I noticed would do this. Sometimes my white managers would slip up every now and then, you know, because they like to kick it up with like the girls that they were cool with, and it would slip. And it's just like, this is just so foul and it's so wrong. And it puts me in a very weird position as like a black girl, because it's like, at the end of the day, these are my coworkers and I still want to be able to work well with them and stuff. And I know there's a way to call people out in a peaceful and respectful manner. But sometimes some of the girls that be working there, the screws don't really be tied all the way. So if you bring something like that up and you try to engage in a mature and respectful conversation, things can go left really quick, because some people just don't know how to engage with somebody politely like that and respectfully. So I said, you know what, let me just fight the battles that I know I can win and just get my money and keep it moving. And so I had to do a lot of that. And it's really sad, because it creates a situation where it's like, I felt more comfortable befriending my fellow black coworkers as opposed to the ones who decided it was perfectly okay to just run around and be saying the N-word just so casually. So that's really sad. And if you're a white or non-black Hooter girl watching this video, speak up for your fellow black coworkers and your fellow black Hooter girls. Like, you guys do have a responsibility to be able to use the privilege that you have as being a white Hooter girl to speak up and stand up for girls who look like me, who might not be able to have necessarily that same voice in the way that you do. So that's just my little tidbit on that little situation. But overall, those are my thoughts on my experience as a Hooter girl and a black Hooter girl, and what I think you should know if you are working as a Hooter girl or you're trying to work there. I will say that I've been seeing differences in how the company has been publicizing itself. Like, I've been seeing, like, I remember I saw a black girl with braids in one of their commercials, and I was like, hold up. And to be honest, it feels kind of disingenuous, because just a couple of months ago that she would have been told to go home and say, take those braids out before you ever think of coming back. So that was really bothersome to me. But I'm glad that they changed their hair policy, and I'm glad that they're trying, I guess, to make some changes. I think there's still a lot more that needs to be done. None of my business. I'm moving on. This is not for me. Cool. But for girls who are still in there, get your money, boo. Don't let anybody make you feel like you don't deserve to be there and you shouldn't be there. It's easy money. It's fast money. You deserve to be there and you deserve to reap the benefits of being there. So keep your head up. Get your coins. And yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And you don't even have to be a black girl who has worked at Hooters or is currently working at Hooters to understand some of the discrimination and the issues that I've mentioned in this video. It's really sad, but this is kind of like a common narrative that we as black women unfortunately experience in so many different fields and so many different industries. However, I just think it's so important for us to stay true to ourselves. And unlike me, please speak up and find resources and avenues where you can speak up, up, because when you do so, you create space for the next Black woman to feel comfortable in her Blackness and to exist and take up space in that environment. So with that said, I hope you guys like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, talk to me. What have been your experiences working as a Black Hooter girl or in any other kind of industry? And I hope to see you guys in my next video.
You a
Goodbye.
bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, saucy drippin' swag do. You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, saucy drippin' swag do. Oh.